This is a very small activity on using CorelDraw, and also goes in with our Bauhaus shapes that we're looking at the moment. So this is what we're going to be working towards drawing. So just start a new document here, and you can just call it your name, and we'll make sure that RGB is selected, and with the width and the height, the size of our laser cutting bed in the small ones is 600 millimeters by 300, and then we select OK. So this is the whole bed of the laser cutter, and we're just going to work with the top left hand corner. That's where its origin point is. So just to start off with, we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a rectangle. You'll notice with Corel we've got all these different kind of drawing tools down the side that we can work from. Above the top it gives us our page size. We're working in millimeters. Just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing. So I've come over here and we left click on rectangle, and you'll notice if you hover on that for a moment, you do get a little dialog box that just says, it draws squares and rectangles by dragging in the window. So I'm going to just hold the left mouse key down and just bring it out to whatever distance, it doesn't matter. And then we can come up into the box here and change it. So I'm going to make mine make it 280 just for the sheet size, and I'm just going to make it 50 millimeters in height, and then that will readjust it. At the moment, if I was to left click again, it's going to draw another rectangle, which I don't want to do. We've got undo here. So I'm just going to go over here to my select button, and that will allow you to select that rectangle and then move it around the screen. For this one, for the one that we're drawing at the moment, I'm actually going to try and move it fairly close up to the corner, so when it gets laser cut, that's we can tell the print settings that's where it's going to print from. So now I just want to go through and place a variety of our primary colours. So if I just have a quick look at my Bauhaus shapes on YouTube, when we're looking at triangles, circles and squares as our primary shapes and our primary colours. So coming back to Corel, just going to go to circle, so selecting circle, and then from the center point we can drag out, and that's actually creating an ellipse, so longer minor and major axes. What I can do here, if I want to create a circle, I can come through and I can just type in 40 and type in 40, and that would make the minor and major axes the same. Coming back to the select tool, and I can just move this one around, and I can just place it so it's visually in the center. Equal distance top and bottom, thereabouts, and we're just going to go through and put in a variety of shapes in there. So I'm going to put in a square, the same thing, just dragging, bring it out. I'm going to make this square 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters. I'm going to give myself a triangle, so if we come along to the polygon tool, select on that, and we can just draw a triangle. The default setting for polygons is 5, so if we wanted to, if yours comes out 5-sided, like this one, we can actually go through and just make sure you can change the settings. So if it's not a triangle to begin with, just change the number of sides to it. And you can manipulate this one to be whatever shape that you wanted it to be. So if we look at if I was to make that 40 millimeters by 40, oops. Just pressing enter there to lock it in. Coming back to the select tool, we can manipulate and move that around. And for your particular design as well, we're going to use this tool as a drawing aid, so we might even fit in some smaller ones. So I might go along and just put in a square that's 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters. And I might put in a circle that's going to be 20 by 20 as well. You get the idea, and this is up to you. You can keep creating this. I'm just going to use my select tool and just move these around to fit as many little shapes on here as I can. And go nuts, put as many there as you'd like to. I'm just going to put my name down here. And you can change the type of font or anything like that that you would like to do. That's fine. And if you wanted to put little incremental sizes on there, so you might even just start with a small little rectangle that might be 20 millimeters by say 10 millimeters as an example. And then you might place this up here. Control copy, Control V, and we can paste it, and you can actually start to set up a little bit of a measure on the edge if you wanted to. If you want to use it for a ruler like that, you might have some more ingenious ways than I do to try and create shapes there. This is a very basic tutorial. The only other thing that we need to look at is the laser cutter needs to know that all the lines are hairlines. So what we can do, by dragging a box from the top corner across the whole document, we can then select everything and we can make sure that it's hairline. Currently my text, I don't actually want that to cut all the way through. So I'm just going to make sure that I right click on this little box up here just to deselect the fill. And that's now going to do a process called rastering. So the laser cutter will cut along our lines, and lines are called vectors. Where it's going to etch or raster, it's actually going to go across and actually just go to a very, very fine depth so we can see it. Once we've finished doing this, we might also add just one more little hole that we can use as a center point here. We're just going to make this 3 millimeters by 3 millimeters, and we could use this as a compass point, like the point of our compass, and then use any of these places to put our pencils to draw arcs. Then we need to come along and we need to go File, Save As, and we're just going to save that into your OneDrive, and then when you go to the laser cutter, you're going to be able to open it up on the desktop computer there.